Hello everybody, we are at the Varsity Field 4 game. It's at the center of the Free State in a town called Bloemfontein at the University of the Free State. Looks like the overlay there's some problem with the overlay, but we'll should get it up soon. And we are looking at the Saints versus the Bomb Squad. On the field now we've got it's a Bomb Squad batting and the Saints fielding. It says something wrong with the overlay. Just going to restart it. Hello everybody, moved in a little bit closer. Seems like we are experiencing technical difficulties with the overlay. We're at the Varsity Field 4 in the central part of South Africa in a region called Free State, and in the center of the Free State we've got Bloemfontein, and in the middle of Bloemfontein we've got the University of the Orange Free State. They've got sports grounds, they've got cricket fields, and we are on field number 4. We're looking at the Saints versus the MKTSE BOM squad. Both are Bloemfontein teams, and the Saints are at the moment they are fielding. Hopefully we'll be able to recover the scoreboard later. It seems like it's not pulling through. Trying to read here at the bottom what's error have been sent to us. Now it seems like it is a problem with the app, where the scoreboard isn't at the bottom. Hopefully they will be able to sort it out during the day or during the match, but we're going to keep everything updated if possible, as far as possible. In any case, now we've got it's a bomb squad batting with Saints fielding, and yeah, we will be able to tell you what is going on in the game. Unfortunately, we don't have any stats to show, but we'll try and sort that out in any case on another platform. And fortunately, it seems like we was able to sort out the sound a little. We had to change the angle because area where we sat, we had players standing in front of us, and although it was nice to block the wind, we unfortunately have to be struggling with the wind. But it died down during the second match of the day, and a 4 was it. Okay, let's make a hotspot with this thing and see if we can just. Okay, let's look at. The overlay, we can't do anything about it. We found out that it isn't the phone that's causing the problem. It is sometimes the app, and today it is one of those cases because it worked well up to this point. That was nearly nicked, and we can make a hotspot. Then I'll be able to see some stats on another phone. Showing beautifully. That is sorted out. Now the game continues. We can see that the bomb squad, they started batting first and they are on 35 runs without the loss of any wickets. Jaco Venter at the stumps. Jock Jacobs standing on 6 runs from 4 balls. Jaco Venter 29 runs from 11 balls. And everything looks as it's supposed to be. Good news for us. Unfortunately, the bomb squad just losing their first wicket. And Tommy van Onselen coming up. Tommy van Onselen, he's played 54 matches which he has on his belt, and his maximum is 50 runs. Obviously that translated to having a 50, and unfortunately I only had one of those, but his batting average is 19.52. Can he better it with this innings? Together with him is Jock Jacobs, and he's got 92 matches under his belt, and he's got his highest score is 62, and he scored 950. So there's a very proficient 2 batsmen at the crease now, and yeah, a lot of good things that come from this squad. It is difficult to compare the experience between the two teams because we're looking at the Saints who's got 83 matches between all of them, and then MKTSE BOM squad, they've got 579, but the total is inflated by Arthur Creer's 366 matches by himself. Then we look at the bomb squad. They've got 2 new players in the team, Christopher Pritchard and Martinez van der Westhuizen. Christopher Pritchard, we don't have any stats of him yet, neither do we have from Martinez van der Westhuizen, but so does the Saints. They've got a Gerry van Niekerk and a Johan Saunders, both new additions to the team. And we see Tommy van Onselen making his mark on the bomb squad. I think we can move in a little bit closer. Looks like the picture quality isn't too bad. There you go, and he knocks that ball to the boundary. Scoring 2 runs from that delivery. We look forward to the players still coming for the bomb squad to come and bat. Jock Jacobs obviously being the second most experienced batsman in the team. But then we've got a Jaco Venter who's got a batting average of 55.18. He's only played 19 matches for LMS, but he's got a high score of 55 and he scored 6 50s. So we've got big hitters in this team. But we shouldn't throw away the Saints team as well, because we've personally have viewed them playing about 2 to 3 weeks ago, just before we had rained out matches, where we had a lot of rain in Bloemfontein and the fields were too wet to play. We've seen a last man stands player from Saints who stood there and nearly won the game for them, where it seems that they didn't have any chance of reaching the target score. A good ball by Andy Steyn. Bit of pace on that one. See, I'm a bit more familiar with the people in the bomb squad. But for some reason, I have caught a liking to this Saints team. I'm not exactly sure whether how many of them comes from the Saints school. That's probably where the team started. But obviously, they won't be accepting only Saints players. They will be accepting players from anywhere. And that's a beautiful hit to the boundary. And that was Tommy van Onselen. He helped us carry our table to this side of the field just before the match. Yeah, two very young players from who we can expect a lot from in this, not only in this innings, but in the what's rest of the summer season. Obviously, next year, after that, then we will be starting with the winter league or the winter season, where these players will be playing and keep fit and ready for the club cricket after the winter. And that's another big hit from Jacobs, and that looks like it's a 4. Well done, Jock. Now we see the MTS, we're just going to name them Bomb Squad. 47 runs for the loss of only 1 wicket and the projected score of 196. I don't think they're going to quite reach that target unless they do things like that. What a big hit. That's a 6. One massive 6 by Jock Jacobs. This boykie. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, he needs to hydrate. If he's going to hit a lot more like those, we're going to reach that. We see that projected score jump to 224. Before the game, they said no, they're not right third division players, and they're not that. They don't play that well. They're not used to these big fields, uh, but then they go and play like that. So they are giving everything, and they've got the experience in the rest of the team to show them how to become better players. They are showing now they've got what it takes to bat a big innings. But we all know that cricket isn't all just about batting. It's about bowling, it's about fielding, it's about reading the pitch, it's about a lot more than hitting the ball well. It's not baseball. In baseball, all you are required to do is hit the ball and run what they call the bases. This is a lot more complicated. There's a lot more to play here. And they just keep hitting it that way, and that will be racing away for a 4. No, that was stopped just before the boundary. And now it's time for Tommy Olsen to show what he can do. And he knocks it to that side of the field as well. Is it going to be a 4? No, it's not. It's going to be stopped before that, but it gives him enough time to run a single. Another one. Is it going to be caught? No, it's misfield. It was dropped, and whatever that Saints fielder's name is, he will be very disgusted with himself. He keeps seeing the ball being hit to deep extra cover. Maybe it's a bit prejudged, but it seems like all the balls are going that way. looks like we've got Dachi as the umpire. And that's a dot ball. Jock Jacobs just didn't get to that. Keeping up with what the score is. For some reason, we can hear the people on the pitch better on this side of the field. It might, well, it is obviously because the wind is blowing this way, so we will hear a lot more. But we are so glad that the wind have quieted down a little, so we can have our documentation under control a little bit better. Not fully, but Dachi is a very experienced cricket player himself, umpire, and actually a very nice guy. A few weeks ago we brought meat for a braai. He had a grill on the go. Had no problems with us me putting a burger patty on his grill for him to cook, and afterwards they gladly gave it to me. Very appreciated his help very much. He called that a wide. Look at Andy Stein bowling. He's approaching the pitch. And they nicked the ball to fine leg. It was stopped and returned to the bowler. At the pitch, Jock Jacobs, standing on 27 runs from 12 balls. On the other side, Tommy van Olsen, 9 runs from 11 balls. And the squad standing on 65 for 1. Oh, and that's another big hit. Is it going to be a 6? Yeah. Just need confirmation from Dachi. And that is a 6. Well done. Jock Jacobs scoring another 6. Showing what he's made of. Showing that on this big field, those long boundaries aren't too long for him. I think it is safe to say that we will be able to see Jock Jacobs playing in the first division soon. Although this is a third division match, he's showing his mettle, that he's got what it takes. Yeah, and that's a nice thing about LMS cricket. All the teams have to be divided into first, second and third division. So sometimes the first division is full, but it only increases the quality of the cricket that is moving up in the divisions. So if we've got a player like that playing in third division, imagine our first division players at what quality they are playing. Jock Jacobs, Saints approaching, and it's just pushed through to deep leg so that Tommy can face the ball. Tommy standing on 9 runs from 11 balls. He most surely are looking for a boundary as well, but he's quite happy just to knock it to the side so that they can only run a single, keeping Jacobus on strike, of Jock on strike. Jock doing the same, maybe just telling Saints, listen, we are still in control of this game. We can slow it down and speed it up as we need to. We aren't under any pressure to do what you want us to do. Obviously, being the opening field batting in the first innings, you are under no obligation to put up a certain target unless your team management tells you to. Then it's your job. But these people aren't being paid to play here, so they aren't any under those kind of reservations. But they obviously want to win the match, so they don't worry about um, going for a big target score. They are just here to come and enjoy themselves. In any case, if we go and look at the standings, the bomb squad already in second place with Flaming Fireballs in first place. Flaming Fireballs got 60 points. Bomb squad standing on 54, which means if they get a full 4 points from this match, winning it, but it looks like they might not be able to get all the points because not all the players are wearing um, their traditional squad clothing. But they are playing the Saints, who are in fourth place with 28 points. Going into the finals, it's all about points, but it's points that you've accumulated during the season that counts. Not so much this what you're getting at the final stage just before the semi-finals or the knockout rounds. Bomb Squad obviously being now in the next round in any case, being in second place, so they will be contenders for the cup. Those who aren't contenders for the cup, that's another big hit. It's going to reach a boundary, but it's not. Just before the boundary, it was stopped by a Saints field player or fielder. There's not going to be a four. But a beautiful stroke, nevertheless. Saints approaching. The ball was knocked to the boundary. Not going to make it even close to the boundary. It's stopped by Saints, and we are standing with the Bomb Squad on 82 runs for the loss of 1 wicket, and the projected score has dropped a little to 191. Still a big ask for Saints, but they've got the heart to do it. And a bit of a few misfields, allowing the Bomb Squad to score a few more runs. And now Tommy comes to the party with big hits. He wouldn't be comfortable with that 14 runs from 15 balls. He's better suited with the range which Jock has at the moment with 42 runs from 23 balls. Obviously, Jock also now contending for the play of the match award with his kind of batting ability. But going on like that, he's 8 more runs and he has to be replaced. And then unfortunately we will only be able to see him once again after the rest of the team has been bowled out, or the rest of the team has lost their wickets. Then he can return, but not before that. Saints approaching, and Tommy knocking the ball hard, and it's racing to the boundary, stopped just short of the boundary, and ball brought back to the bowler. just to reset for another delivery. We're going to fix that. Jacob's hitting another big ball. It's not going to be a boundary. Not a four, but close. Jacobs at the stumps. And Saints approaching. That is going to be a called a wide by umpire Dutchy. Another big hit by Jacobs, but it's only going to be a single run. Just on a lighter note, a woman is giving birth to her husband, rushes to the hospital to be there. On his way, he decides to call the hospital to see how she's doing, but accidentally calls Lord's Cricket Grounds instead. Someone answers, and the husband asks, "Hi, how's everything going there?" The reply came, "Well, we have 3 out and hope to have the rest out by lunch. Last one was a duck." You can only imagine how his response was on that. A cricket walks into a store selling sports goods looking to buy a baseball bat. He walks up to the clerk and asks, "Could you tell me where the baseball bats are located, please?" The clerk is not surprisingly shocked to see a talking cricket, but he decides to play it cool. "Over there," the clerk says, before adding, "Hey, do you know you have a name after you or a sport name after you?" The cricket is shocked. "What? You have a sport called Sylvester?" We're going to improve on that. It's a dry joke, but it's only there to lighten the mood a little. Getting back to the game, we can see that few of the clouds are covering the sun now, bringing a bit of shade over the field, and then the wind is cooling down nicely. So the conditions on the field is changing a lot. And obviously it's after the 10th over, so we will have a switch in sides where the bowler will be bowling from. The entire field will be switched, and we will be now bowling from the varsity's rugby field end, and that is called Shimla Park. It's a massive hit by Jacobs once again, but it's only 2 runs. This time broadcasting from the side where the Shimla Park is behind us, the Shimla rugby field. Uh, just blocked the ball away for a single run. Still got the wind there. Silence. Saints approaching. And Tommy knocks the ball. Is it going to be a 6? No, it's probably a 4. Let's get confirmation. Touching. And Dutchy confirms that that was a 4. Making sure the camera sees that that was a 4. Tommy's stats are picking up quite nicely, and we can see that the projected score hovers at around 192. And Tommy does it again, but that will not be a 4. It was stopped before the boundary, and they went through for a single run. It's a nice time of the day where we can see the kids playing next to the field. Now they became interested in a tire. Looks like a solid delivery from Saints. We can swing the angle to see where the sounds of the children playing come from, and it is right over there. Coming back to the game. And Tommy at the stumps. He's going for a big one. Now ball falls in no man's land, and it's a safe single delivery. Safe single run. If you look at the last 10 balls from Saints, approaching. Oh! Not exactly sure why he's out, but looks like that was it for Tommy. It could have been that he touched the hand of the bowler and then the stumps was out and he was out of his crease and lost his wicket. Quite unfortunate when you don't have control over your innings. And Jock standing on 49 runs. Just one more run and he will be replaced with one of his teammates. You can see that projected score has dropped a little from 192 to 186. I still have a feeling that anything north of 150 will be challenging for Saints. Tommy was replaced by Martinez van der Merwe. No, our apology. Martinez van der Westhuizen. The full name won't be able to fit in there. Martinez van der Westhuizen is also a new addition to the bomb squad. No stats for him yet, so we'll still have to put up his first score for the team for LMS Cricket Bloemfontein. For LMS Cricket. We see two new players at the stumps. Martinez van Merwe, who is making his debut in the LMS Cricket, and Tiaan van Rooyen. Tiaan van Rooyen has played 43 matches and he's got a batting average of 10.24. Hasn't scored any 50s yet, and his highest score is 24. So he's probably a more of a bowler, but that we'll have to see in the second innings. Saints approaching. Tiaan van Rooyen now the most experienced player at the pitch. He looks like a young guy, extremely young, but that is no measure for talent because these guys coming from school, they could have learned a lot in school. One day we might be able to make a profile of what schools these people learned their cricket from, and maybe track that through to who their coaches were, because those are the coaches who form the basis of any cricket, and it will be good to see which schools or which coach names comes up the most, because that not only shows who helps cricketers play better cricket, but also who helps players fall in love with cricket and keep playing after school or after university. And that was a little bit dangerous. And a wide called by Dutchy. Saints bowling from the Shimla's end. Bowler now is Johan Saunders. That is what they call an off drive. Went to deep extra cover, or actually only reached somewhere between extra cover and mid off. Didn't quite go the distance, but that is in the general direction of deep extra cover. A beautiful shot by Tiaan van Rooyen. That was aimed at deep cover. There was no fielder standing in that direction, but with a little bit more aggression and behind that shot, it could have gone that way. But these youngsters are picking their angles well, just hitting the ball between the players in open spots, and we can see that for some reason the Saints had moved all the fielders to the boundaries. So they're not interested in stopping the singles that much. They are interested. It's up, and it was misfielded by Saints. That's unfortunate. Martinez very lucky not to lose his wicket in this instance, but he cannot expect it to happen continuously for the rest of the game. Can also guarantee you now that the Saints have found his weak point, and they will be focusing on that, repeating that, and if he keeps playing that shot, making that same mistake, he will lose his wicket in the next few balls. Maybe not this over, but third over after that, if he lasts that long. And we are sitting with bomb squad with 117 runs for the loss of 2 wickets in the 13th over, and the projected score has dropped to 180. Now 177. At one stage it was more than 200. So the pace have come down considerably. It's just that boundary is not coming in. Of course, most of these runs were scored by Jock Jacobs, where he's already scored his 50 runs and was replaced by a substitute from his team. In LMS cricket, you only bat until you've got 50 runs, and you can come back a little bit later. And there's another 4 runs added to the newbie in the team. Martinez van der Westhuizen, maybe finding his rhythm now. Obviously, to Arthur Creer that wouldn't happen much, but he'll be watching these guys with a hawk eye to see what the talent is for these guys. And will that be a catch? No, it will just be short of a possible catch, unless the Saints feel they have run forwards instead of backwards, and maybe have dove to the front. But when we also have to remember these are a bit older guys now, they aren't the junior teams who can afford to get hurt. Not that kids are supposed to get hurt, but they recover a lot quicker, obviously. The older gents know this by now. Recovery times extend as you get older. So taking chances just before the finals isn't that much of a good idea. It's picking your battles when you get older. Saints approaching. And Tian knocked it just for the square leg. Scoring at 2 runs. And that will take him back to the stumps. We'll be facing the bowler. Maybe that is strategy for now. Keeping Tian at the stumps since he's been there the longest. He's faced 12 balls, got 19 runs, and he feels good now to score a few more boundaries. He shows he can do it. Saints approaching. Tian defending his wicket. And he goes for a big hit. Is it going to be a 4? The ball is running slowly to the boundary, but it is a 4. Well done, Tian. Tian now on 24 runs from 14 balls. He cemented his position into his team, showing his value. And another big hit is racing to the boundary. It's going to perform now, but it's well fielded by a Saints player. and they are going through for 2 runs, keeping him on strike. Saints player Johan Saunders will be bowling his last ball for the over, and Tian just knocks it to deep point. Now we've reached the 15th over. From now on we should see a gradual increase in runs coming in. The bomb squad still has a few wickets in the bank or on hand. So we'll see more of that kind of thing happen. A 4 by Tian. Well done, Tian. He's keeping those boundaries coming in now, and he's probably going to increase run rate. And we see already a projected score from 177 jumping to 186. But now it's Martinez van der Westhuizen at the stumps, and he will be trying to show that he's got the same kind of talent. Tian at strike, Saints approaching. Just playing the ball straight to long on. And the ball is up in the air. Is it going to be caught? No, and the wicketkeeper missed again. Go for the ball. Maybe it wasn't in the cards. Just didn't make it. But it is his second time. The Saints captain won't be too happy with that. But then it doesn't matter. Because these guys are playing for fun. It's not always about performing where the goal isn't always to win the game. The goal is to come out and have fun. These guys have other challenges during the day or during the week. Challenges at work where they need to perform. The performance goal for this is just to come and relax, have fun, reset for the week. And this is the way they know how to do it. Now approach the 16th over. Bomb squad standing on 146 runs for the loss of 2 wickets, and the projected score at 183, and most of it is done by batting average as a youngster, Tian has played 54 runs for LMS Cricket, and his highest score was 24. Every single run that he adds to his score today will be his newest high score. Hopefully, if he keeps on going like he's going now, he will reach his first 50. But it's Van der Westhuizen now making sure that he's stamping down his talented batting conversation. Martinez van der Westhuizen at the stumps, Sainz approaching, and Van der Westhuizen is hitting them with full force, and he will be continue doing that as he's playing or he's cementing his position into this bomb squad team. Boeing coming over, I don't think that is too much distracting for the players. Only audible for most of them as they will be focusing on the batsman, which is Tian van Rooyen at the moment. And Tian van Rooyen and Martinez van der Westhuizen are building quite a partnership now, unless this ball is being caught, and the ball is caught. Tian is gone. Ball caught beautifully by Sainz, breaking up that partnership and maybe just putting a little bit of a stopper in this onslaught of the Bond squad, scoring runs from every ball. That is a wicket well celebrated by Saints for taking. Unfortunately, not only with 3 more overs coming in, the bomb squad will most probably get that 170, 180 target, which will be very difficult for Saints to reach. Not impossible, but we are open for some exciting cricket to come in the second innings. Whether they reach it or not, it will be exciting to watch them, see them trying. Now Van der Westhuizen taking authority at the stumps. Joining him was Christopher Pritchard. Christopher Pritchard is his maiden or his debut into the team as well. So it's two new guys at the stumps representing MKTSE BOM squad. This is the time where you try to impress Arthur Creer, team captain and most experienced player in Bloemfontein. Not all about hitting boundaries, knowing which balls you should leave. always about playing clever. And it's about patience as well. So as that ball was not the type of ball you should try and hit unless you have boundary plans with it. Saints approaching and missed again. Maybe a bit too eager, but it doesn't matter because it's overs are now standing on the 18th over. There's only two more overs in this innings. A lot of wickets still in hand, but we don't want to see the youngsters who are playing their first match just losing their wickets unnecessarily. We see Martinez van der Westhuizen on 19 runs from 12 balls. He's made his, probably got his stamp of approval. He's done his job. He's done his job well. And Christopher Pritchard, he still has to add some runs to this team and show what he's made of. And the ball is up in the air. Is it going to be good? Saints drop the ball and it is a 4. Martinez can be very lucky that that ball was dropped. The Saints team isn't too mad about it. They're not punishing. Another ball is in the air, but it's running to the boundary. Well fielded by the man who caught the previous ball from who took that wicket. Saints approaching, and the ball was racing to the boundary, but it was stopped by the man who just dropped the ball. Ball returned um, to the bowler with a man called Eben Harting. Eben Harting's bowling. Oh, nearly nicked that one. Falling into the hands of the wicket keeper. He didn't miss. Harting approaching. Oh, and we can see an attempt for a reverse sweep. Was the ball nicked? Yes, it seems like the ball was nicked and Bomb Squad lost another wicket. One of the youngsters going off. Just making sure which one just now lost his wicket. But they are also discussing strategy with the boys. No, he's not, it seems like he's not out. Game continues. Maybe Arthur told them, oh, sir, just relax, boys. No need to get fancy. The boundaries will come if they should be there. Well fielded by Saints. Will it be a run out? No, it's not going to be a run out. Touchy reminding the guys that they are playing cricket, not rugby. Not trying to shoulder and tackle each other there on the field. If they want to do it, they can do it on a Saturday. obviously these guys, being South Africans, they must probably played rugby in school. And that is probably why South Africans are more physical than other players, or the South Africans are physical just like the Australians and New Zealand players. Um, oh, and that's another big shot. It's in the air. It's going to be caught. No, it's not going to be caught, but it's going to run for a boundary, and that is a four. Martinez van der Merwe making his mark on this team. You can also see that other teams will be looking at him now. Arthur will be defending him, obviously, to keep him. But Martinez van der Merwe now is showing his mettle for this team. Scoring 31 runs from 18 balls, standing in the last over of the first innings for the Bomb squad. You can see that the projected score is 173. We are standing at 171 for the last of 3 wickets. And can we show the computer incorrectly? Show that the computer is wrong. Will that be good? It's up in the air. And it's scored. And Martinez just lost his wicket. But Martinez now has a score on LMS cricket with one match and a batting average pretty good. 50s not yet, and he just, whatever his score was today, that 31 will be his highest score, which is not too bad. Joining Christopher Pritchard should have been Arthur Creer, but the first innings is over. So the 173 runs for 4 will be the target of the Saints in the second innings. I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break, then we'll be back. why they stopped, we don't know. And we see the Saints standing on 119 runs, losing 4 wickets in the final ball of the game, second innings, and it just didn't come together for the Saints today. A beautiful innings by the bomb squad. They've won this squad. They put on a beautiful innings, 170 runs in the first innings. It would have always been a difficult target for the Saints to reach, but they showed character in showing up, showing what they can do. Had a few big hits, beautiful boundaries. It just didn't come together. They couldn't find their rhythm. For a moment they had it for when they hit a few fours from Tommy, but then yeah, it just all went downhill from there. Well done, Bomb Squad. You had a beautiful innings, a beautiful game, and thank you, Saints, for showing magnificent character. I'm Jurgen Smith, your commentator, and we'll be here back next week for another Last Man Stands cricket game. Goodbye. Enjoy your Sunday. What is left of it? You can see the sky is blue. Weather is good. It's a lot of